Hey, what's up, guys? So welcome back to the channel. This is the Get Smart channel. Definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about saving money. And if it's one thing that we know from finances from being a little kid, is saving money. And if it's one thing that we don't do a lot of, is saving money. But today we want to talk about it just in a sense of, I want to give you guys like some banks that you can actually use that that's a little bit better to save your money. Now, granted, I think the banks and the savings system, I think it's like a joke, like it's just a real big joke, but we'll talk about that later. But you know, saving your money, especially for emergency funds and just having cash on hand, is very important for you to do. Now, you don't just want to put it underneath your mattress, but you want to put it somewhere that actually earns some good interest. So that's what we're talking about today, high interest savings. Now, this is so contradictory. It's like an oxymoron. High interest savings accounts, but the interest rates are not really like high, but they're high compared to the normal rates of a savings account, because a lot of savings accounts, their interest rates are like 0.005. How do you even do that? Or 0.01 or 0.001 and stuff like that, to where your money will just be sitting there and it's gaining like a half a penny a year on the money you got that's in it. So high interest savings accounts right now, the average is around like 1.5 to 2% interest. I mean, you know, we got to work with what we got, right? Unfortunately, there's no high interest savings accounts that's out there that's giving you 30% or giving you 20%. But see, this is kind of a way that the bank just constantly grows and makes money, because banks, when they loan out money, the interest rate is so much higher than the rate it is on the savings account. So here's one of the reasons why you want to save in a high interest savings. It's because this thing called inflation. So have you ever heard like your grandparents talk about how when they were little, they used to buy a loaf of bread for like 10 cents or a carton of milk for a nickel? Even my grandparents, when they bought their house, they paid around $10,000 for their house. Not a foreclosed house, not a condemned house, just a regular living space. About $10,000. Now, during the time they bought it back then, which was 50 plus years ago, that was a lot of money. Now, you buy a house today for $10,000, you in the money. Granted, you still can find houses that are that price, but that's a whole nother conversation. So compared to that time of buying a house or buying milk and buying bread, compared to now, they don't sell many homes that are like okay, like a legit, you know, just home, no issues, a brand new home, or someone's just selling their home for $10,000. Most cases you're looking at buying a home, depending on your market, it can be anywhere from 70 to 150 to 300 to 400,000 to 500 to even millions of dollars just for a house. The cheapest I think you can get bread right now is like maybe like $1 or $1.50 and something like that. And that's like the great value brand. But on average, you're probably going to pay $2 to $3 for a loaf of bread. So our rate of inflation right now is like between 2 and 2.5%. So every year, that's how much things are increasing. Now that's the US. In some other countries like Venezuela, the inflation is just through the roof and it's unbelievable. And I'm surprised that that's even legal for the inflation to reach like it is in Venezuela. So here's the thing. If you're going to be saving money and you want to put money to the side, especially for the future, you want to make sure that your money is at least keeping up with inflation just a little bit. So right now, the bank's interest rates and inflation, they're very close. So the inflation is a little bit higher than the bank's interest rate. However, you are getting some type of interest on your money. So yes, even if it's $5, you get some interest on your money. And so today I want to talk about these different accounts. Now, these are not all the accounts, or these are not all the different banks that you can use. There's more. But I'm going to list about 7 of them. Now, the thing is, these have no minimums, meaning that you can actually open up these accounts today and it's not going to cost you anything. And you can put $1 in it or $5 in it or whatever the case is. Now, I don't have these listed in any specific order. I just want to give you something that you can start to look into, maybe research, because a lot of times we get these questions where people talk about like, where should I save my money and stuff like that. I normally just either text them or email them like this list of, you know, different banks that they can look into, kind of get the wheels turning. But like I said, there's no minimum, so that way that, like right now, tax return season, hey, you get $5,000-$10,000 back, whatever. Take some of that and put into a high interest savings so you can have it for emergencies. Or if you want to just be able to put that as part of your portfolio of building something towards your future, is definitely nothing wrong with doing that. So in a sense, your money is making money on a monthly and yearly basis. So the first bank is Sofi, and right now Sofi, as of the date of this video, their interest rate is 1.6. Now, please note that these interest rates that I'm mentioning, depending on the time that you see this video, they could change because they change based off of whether the federal, if they raise rates or they lower rates. So based on what it is today, these are the rates. So they could go up later, they could go down some later. Lately, the feds have been cutting rates, so some of these, their interest rates were actually at like 2 and 2.5%, but they're now lower just because of the interest rates that have been cut. So the next one is Ally. Ally has a 1.6 on their savings also. Then you have Marcus by Goldman Sachs, who has they're at 1.7. Wealthfront, which is at 1.78. Capital One savings is 1.7, and I don't think most people even pay attention to Capital One. Capital One, they've created their own bank, Capital One 360 and things like that. And literally, like, it's simple. It takes a few minutes to open, and their savings account has 1.7. I don't even think most people even realize that, because it's not something that is really put out there like that, nor do they really put it out there like that themselves. But Capital One, 1.7 on their savings. UFB Direct has a savings account where their interest is 1.9. And now this one is funny, and I only put this one up here because I thought it was hilarious, and that's Sallie Mae. The people who you owe money to for school loans and stuff like that. Sallie Mae has a 1.75% savings account. Now that is hilarious. But in that list, if you're looking for somewhere to save, check them out. Now I'll provide the links in the description, but just be sure to do your research as well as research others, so everything that's being offered. Because say for example, like companies like Wealthfront, it doesn't come with no debit card that you can just go and swipe and use the money. Then you have companies like Sofi, which has a debit card, which has all these different perks and things like that are attached to it. So just do your research so you can take a look and see exactly what it is that these companies offer. Take a look at all their fees. Now, like I said, these ones that I mentioned, they have no minimums whatsoever. So that means that $0 is the minimum, and you're not getting a fee because you don't have a certain amount in there like most savings accounts do, where if you don't have $300 or you don't have $1,000 in, they're charging you $5, $10, $20 a month, just because you don't have a certain balance. That's crazy. So if you do have one of those accounts, one of those savings accounts, and you don't have the minimum, and it's just taking money away from you, or even if you have one, and it's like, and I'm talking about in the sense like, especially if it's under like a couple $1,000s or things like that. See, because some of these accounts that have these high minimums, they just have a lot of different benefits, and typically it's for people who are in different tax brackets. But if you don't have a lot of money, for example, and you're in a savings account, right, like, and it's just taking money from you every single month, close the account and get another account. Take out the list that I gave you, and even just Google search and research, and even go on YouTube and search, other ones, so that way that you're not, having money just taken away. You're like giving money away, because the banks, they're going to make money regardless. They're going to make money. That's what they're designed to do. That's how they were set up. I mean, for God's sakes, like on average, the banks, they collect over $50 billion in overdraft fees every single year. Overdraft fees from people who don't have the money, over $50 billion. So they're gonna make their money. So the thing that you need to do is you need to just find what works for you, the best fit for you. So like I said, just do your research and check it out. But those are just some things that you can use to actually, start getting some good interest. That word good, high interest, whatever. Just start getting some interest on your money, so that way your money is just not sitting somewhere and you're not getting the maximum benefit out of your money sitting in someone's bank. So as always, guys, thanks for learning with me. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.